Oh, welcome. This is going to be on chapter 12. Chapter 12. Wow, brain here. Sorry. This is chapter 12, Linux Basic for Hackers. So I was going through this book for some of it, and I'm going to skip chapter 13 and 14 for now. So 14's on understanding and inspecting wireless service networks, but um, that would show off my network, and I'm not doing that. And then um, 13's on how to stay anonymous and torrenting traffic. And honestly, I think the way it's handled, the book goes really well on how to do it. I don't think it would be good to put this as a YouTube video for it because I don't want to get backlash over it. So probably just skip to 15 Emperor Dome 12. 12, there's a part with Raspberry Pi I'm going to skip too. We'll just do like a basic on services and how to use them. So it's pretty basic here. So you have your service no different than task manager. Bring that up. Have all these processes running in the background. So then these are the services that is running currently or has stopped. So think of it that's in the Linux system. You can run this on the command line. Well, these are what's running and stopping, but it's no different than in Linux. So let's say if I wanted to start an Apache server, I go, and I was messing with my SQL too. Sudo. We'll go to MySQL in a second. Two, start. Started. So I open up the browser. Go. And that's what the page what it would look like in the sense. Sorry. So what if I stop the service? So if I go stop, now the service isn't running. So that's what it would look like. And you can change the index file on it. I want to skip that section because that's more of a hands-on part. I'm not skipping Raspberry Pi. It's good stuff. It's just I don't think I have the time for that. So essentially, that's how you would use a service or use a service. Sorry, that was how you would use a service. So in this case, we'll do SQL next, which is going to be probably our and start sudo MySQL root there. So this is service level for when it comes to SQL, but oh, what was I going to say? Sorry, this is service level, but there's also other different websites out there. I'll put in the bottom underneath the comment section. There's or the description section, excuse me, where you can learn a little bit more about it. Like W3 Schools has a really good, uh, just free resource site that you can go ahead and pick up, and actually show on how to use it. And then I do recommend if you want to learn a little bit more about it, do Hack Smarter's web course because Tyler goes over it so much better than I'm probably going to do it. But we can use the select command. And some people say use all caps. Some people say don't. SQL doesn't care. So you can do either caps or not caps. Doesn't really matter. So first, we're looking at a database. We can go show data. database. And it's got to be ending with a semicolon. Our database is. There we go. Okay, cool. Then we can go select performance information. We'll just go select my SQL. Man. Oh, not with my SQL. Use a command. Cool. So now you're in the database of MySQL. Show tables. And these are the tables here. And so we want to go ahead and select from user. We use select dash from user. And this would be the database that has all the passwords or anything else that's sitting on it. There's nothing on here because it hasn't been set up. So you can do that too. You can also add a user, like we can add it, update user set password. I think this part it needs to be capitalized. Husky. So I'm essentially changing the root password to Husky. Root. I did it right. Yeah, I thought I did that right. It's weird. Update user set password. Password user equals root. That's weird. It usually just does it that way, but okay. Yeah. You can also create different databases like a credit card or so, like he's going over. I'm not going to go over that. It's weird that it's not working. You can also find this stuff within Postgre with Metasploit. You can run this in Metasploit. So that's pretty much chapter 12 is trying to just abusing the services. Skipping 13 and 14. We can go to 15. And that's pretty much almost the book here because we also have a Python section. Uh, but there's also good books out there too, like the Python for Hat, Black Hat Python, which is a really, really good book to go over more of the Python scripts that can use. So I'll dabble a little bit with it, but all right, so we'll exit here. So managing the Linux kernel and loadable kernel. All right, give me 1 second here. So we can check for kernel updates too. And one cool thing about with um one of the attacks was Dirty Cow. I got through a lot of kernel exploits with that attack too. So it's kind of cool. And I'll show you here. So we want to know the kernel. So we're running Kali this version now, I think in 2016. Oh, I mean 2026, not 2016. My God, I'm thinking of Dirty Cow is 9.6.11. So, well, let's say if it was, probably look it up. No. Yeah. There's the original. I think this. Yeah, there we go. No, that's not it. I think you're it. It's like one of the biggest privilege escalation on Linux ever. Oh, wow. They even got it on Mac. That's interesting. I think you're it. Yeah. So this was the proof of concept with Dirty Cow. So essentially you would build this out, make the file. And this is the doc. Is there a Docker version for this? Yeah, that's not the one I'm thinking of. There we go. I think there's a lot of versions of this. But essentially you would make a file and then you would import it. It would remove the root user and create a new user, and you would get RC, well, not RC, you would get root access with that new user. You would essentially pretty much stop all cron jobs because you're running it as root or anything else that requires with root. The box has to respond to the new root user would be Tor, which is kind of funny. They just spelled root backwards. But yeah, like versions like here. I think this is the better one. Yeah, because it's a race condition. That's a race condition. Oh yeah, there we go. So they include in the statement. So you would make this file, and then you would get elevated privilege with it, which just checking it out and doing it once like on proving grounds was crazy. But after a while, you get used to it. And I know I have a few other videos on it. The boxes that uses Dirty Cow. Yeah. So next, you can probably check out for broad product version. You can just go cat rock word. Let's tell you the version of it. Sys y'all j go less command. It show you pretty much almost everything. With uh kernel tuning. I'm not gonna go mess with that. I haven't really messed with the kernel as much, but he goes over a lot more about the actual kernel itself, like inserting and removing a kernel module too. That during demo it can probably be bad. I don't want to go over that. And then we have chapter 16 for cron jobs. And cron jobs are pretty much stuff that's running in the background. So we're gonna go control. Yeah, I'm just gonna open up a new window. So chapter 16. Well, because 15 is pretty quick, and again, I don't want to demo something that I have to troubleshoot for later. All right. So, so if you want to see anything else that's running in the background for cron jobs, or you're looking for cron jobs during privilege escalation, you can run the cron tab, and then dash E. So you have these. There is no cron jobs that's actually running. So we'll just, and then you can add modifications here if you wanted. If you wanted to put a bash command and then running it as a backup, like doing a backup system or backup on a configuration, you could. It just be you create the bash script and then you just put it in the bin and then you can say I want to run you during this certain amount of time. Same thing with SQL backups. You especially want to do it. We have other services too that's also cloud-based, like Cronus, that can also run that. But if, like, let's say you're just using this for just a basic Linux box for whatever reason, and you have the space for it, you can do it. You can do fresh backups on it. So that's one way of doing it. And then he has shortcuts on for it too. That's what you would do. And then chapter 17 is just the Python for basics, which yeah, looking at just reading the last chapter here, a lot of it was just he I think he grabs a Python script or so, and then he kind of manipulates it. But let's say you want to create one here. This will be like a basic thing at all, so that is into the description below. So, Python or let's see here. Hello. Okay, I'll just do a basic print one then. So print. Let's save it. Let's make it as simple as possible here. So we checked on the hello. We need to make this executable. We've seen 600 is okay. Or no, 600. Just giving it rights. There you go. Just want to make it executable. There. We can go Python 3. So this is hello world. So the case of here is the show is how to manipulate that with Nano. So because that's our command call here, and then running comments. It's just this is a comment. You won't see comments because those aren't supposed to be shown. Those are just basically comments on the script of saying what the author is and giving you the intel of it. But there's way more involved into it than I can probably speak over. But let's build a no. He goes over how to build a TCP listener, and I don't have anything in the lab at the moment that could show that. It also goes and makes a killer password cracker too, or so, and then you can see in theory. But a lot of it you've probably already seen or used John the Ripper or Hashcat. You can run any of that in Python too, and you can pretty much run almost Python to be quicker for a lot of other services too. So that's totally up to the person, but more than likely, for the sake of let's see here, let's see here for knowing Python at least, I'll grab that squid host RC. Perfect. I love the script because it's a very basic script here. So, in the sense of just learning about Python, here you would have your libraries being here. This is just comment out what the version it's supposed to running into. And excuse me. So you have your R host here, which is basically your remote host, and then the port they're going to run on it, and then this is you, and then the port you'll run on it with the user account. Now you can run any of these. This is basically just like a SQL injection, but running in Python. And you can pretty much run almost anything in Python here. It's just understanding someone else's script and thinking about it. Like the minimum amount of changes you need to make here when you're looking at a script is probably, hey, look at IP addresses in the port when you're looking at POCs here for proof of concepts or any RC that can get you in remote code execution. If you need to change it, you don't need to know or reverse engineer for most of this, but understanding Python on how it's functionable is necessary. Like showing the hello world part here. This is just how it runs in this command. When you set the print, do this and then see what happens, and then this will actually print something. So, but Python is its own beast. I didn't want to make this whole section about Python. I just want to show with probably just basic CTFs here if you're first starting out. Yeah, all you need to know is how to understand what the author's intent is and see whether or not you can make those changes to get RCE or vice versa or whatever the script is going to ask you to do. Because this most of the time what you're going to run into is either someone's made this already or if you make your own, you definitely need to go in depth on how it's functionable. But just doing like the OCP, most of the time you probably can make something like this on your own or probably just work on just finding things of how to manipulate the actual script to your needs or necessaries. So that's pretty much Linux Basic for Hackers. I'm sorry for skipping out on 13, 14, but the showing my network, I'm not doing that. And then torrenting is a whole beast of its own, and that's uh depends on the person. But yeah, that's the book. I'm glad we got up and finished it today. So yeah, already like and subscribe and thank you for watching.